This is Donavan Ortega reporting with Boca Raton Tribune TV. June 1st marked the start of hurricane season, and it's predicted to be a very busy year. I went to Florida Atlantic University to speak with Professor Howard Hanson. He's an oceanographer and meteorologist. Let's hear what an expert had to say.
All right, now how many storms are they predicting?
Well, they predict a range of named storms, and I'm not sure I can remember the exact numbers off the top of my head. The range they're shooting for named storms, tropical storms, and hurricanes is somewhere between, I think, like 14 and 23 or something like that. On average, there are more like 10.
What are the main factors that NOAA looks at when they're making their predictions for the season?
Well, this year, the difference from last year is that the phenomenon called El Nino seems to be going away. And last year, that was pretty much why we had a quiet hurricane season. So with no El Nino, we're not going to inhibit hurricanes this year. Plus, the ocean temperatures in the Atlantic are much higher than normal, and that, of course, helps form the storms. And so that's really the two things that motivates them to call for a very active season.
Now, the activity of the season, how accurate is the prediction by NOAA of storms actually making landfall?
Not. They don't do that. They don't even bother to try to estimate that, because they've I think wisely decided that there's not a lot of value in doing that. You can bet if there are 14 to 23 storms, suppose there are 19, one of them's probably going to hit land somewhere. Now, it might be in North America, it might be in Central America, it might be on one of the Caribbean islands. We just don't know. Some of them hit landfall more than one place.
Now, hypothetically, if a storm were to form in the Gulf of Mexico, how would that affect the oil spill?
The problem with hypothetical questions is that there are all too many unknowns. It depends critically on where the oil is and exactly where the storm is, because, in hurricanes, tropical storms, the winds basically blow in a circle, and that means they're in different directions depending on which edge of the storm you're on. So, if the storm were to go west of an oil spill out there, it would tend to push the oil toward the north. If the storm goes to the east of the oil spill, it will tend to push the oil to the south. And so you just can't say until you know exactly where the storm is. And by the time a storm forms and gets to the Gulf of Mexico, that oil may have moved. So there's just no way to tell at this point.
Now, what features in Boca Raton, or what areas of Boca Raton are more susceptible to damage due to hurricane making landfall here?
Well, the low-lying areas are the most at risk. Certainly the barrier islands, the islands that are east of the Intercoastal Waterway. Some of the downtown areas in Boca Raton. Interestingly enough, here on the FAU campus, on the east side of the campus, there's a canal that runs down south, I think, to the Hillsborough Canal. And that actually is low-lying enough that has a little evacuation zone around it, showing it's an at-risk area too. Generally speaking, if you live east of I-95, you need to pay close attention to the hurricane watches and warnings and listen for possible evacuations, because those can be indicators that you need to do something. Generally speaking, west of I-95 isn't quite such a concern.
Donavan Ortega with Boca Raton Tribune TV.